Vim has been my primary code editor since 2004, and 99.9% of the time, there's only a handful of commands that I use. So that's why I thought I'd make a video about it because they're easy to learn. So yeah, I'll just document it here. Okay, let's start off by creating a new document. To create a new file, type vim and then the file name that you want your document to save as. All right, so we have an opened up new document with nothing in it. And at this point, this document has not been saved to disk. It only sits in memory. So if I actually clicked on this X for my PuTTY window, it will actually destroy all the information in this document, which is okay because I don't have anything in this document right now anyway. I also have this other window opened here because I want to demonstrate how to open an existing document. So to open and edit an existing document, type vim and the name of the file that you want to edit or read. And there we have it. So we opened up a package.json file. So before we do anything inside of the Vim program, we need to know about the command mode and the insert mode. The command mode lets you execute commands like save, search, close, go to a line number, and all the typical file and text manipulation commands that you can think of. The insert mode is the mode that you want to be in when you want to type content into your document. So let's start with the command mode first. You can go to command mode by pressing the escape key. So I'm pressing the escape key once, or I can press it many times, it doesn't really matter. And let's learn our first command. To quit a document, you type :Q and just press enter. Or if you ever make a mistake, you can just press escape and you'll go back to you're resetting the command mode, right? But :Q and pressing enter key will escape or quit that document. I also had this hello world document here. I can also exit out of this, but if I press quit, it's just going to destroy the document. I never saved to it. So I'm just going to quit and you'll see that no document was made in this directory. So that's our first command, :Q to quit a document. Let's open up the package.json file again. And let's actually try to edit this document. You can actually use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move around the document. And when you're ready to type into the document, you'll have to be in the insert mode. To be in the insert mode, press the letter I, and you'll be in the insert mode. You'll know if you're in insert mode when you look at the bottom left of your screen or the bottom left of Vim. It'll tell you that you're in insert mode down here. If you've pressed escape to enter command mode, that insert label will disappear. But if I press I again, now you're in an insert mode. And when you're in the insert mode, you can actually start typing into the document. So I'll add some stuff here. And I can just write more things in here. Okay. Now, while you're modifying the file, sometimes you might want to know the high-level details about your file. And there's a command for that. So I'll press escape to enter the command mode again. And if I type in :F and then press the enter key, Vim will tell you some high-level details about your file. For example, here it says that you're in the package.json file, that you've modified it, but you haven't actually saved to disk. There are 72 lines in this file. This cursor over here is 23% away from the top of the file, or 23% through the file. And these coordinates here just tell you where your cursor position is. Okay, but let's enter insert mode again and just type in some more content. And now, clearly I've typed in a lot of, let's say, junk that is not valid JSON data. And let's say you want to quit this document without saving. Well, what you can do is you enter the command mode, :Q for quit, but you can add one more parameter, the exclamation mark, meaning do not save this document. And if I press enter, I'll exit. And then if I open up the file again, you'll notice that none of my changes were actually saved to the disk. Okay, I'll enter insert mode again. Now, if I had typed in content here and I tried to type or run the :q or quit command without the exclamation mark and without saving, Vim will give me a warning that none of my changes have been saved yet. So if I actually want to quit, it won't let me quit unless I explicitly do an exclamation mark like this, or I actually write save the file. So let's learn our next command, which is to actually save the file. I'm going to press escape to get rid of that command, and I'm going to type a new command, :w to save the file. Okay, and because this file has been saved, if I actually quit it and come back in, you'll see that these changes were saved. So let's learn to undo, redo, copy, cut, paste, and delete. Now I'm going to enter insert mode first, so I can type in some more gobbledygook. Okay, and let's say I don't want any of these changes, and I want to undo everything. To undo, just press escape to enter the command mode, and the command you want to enter is the letter U for undo. So I just press that once, press it again, and press it again, and press again. And if I keep pressing the letter U, eventually it'll say that there's nothing left to undo, that you're already at the oldest change. If I want to redo all these changes, you can press Ctrl R for redo, press it again, and again, and again, and again. And if you keep pressing Ctrl R, eventually it'll say that there's nothing left to redo, that you're already at the newest change. So that's how you can use undo and redo. Let's learn to copy, cut, delete, and paste. Now, before we do any of that, a very useful mode to be in is the visual mode. And to enter visual mode, I first go to command mode by making sure I press escape. And then if I press the letter V, I'll be in visual mode. And when I'm in visual mode, I can press the arrow keys on my keyboard to highlight bits of text. And once the text is highlighted, I can actually copy it, cut it, or delete it. Now, to copy it, I just press the letter Y, and that's been yanked. And if I want to paste it, I can just move my cursor to anywhere I want to paste that bit of text, and just press the letter P, and I'll paste that bit of text. And I can press P again. And if I don't like it, I just press U to undo, undo, undo. Oh, there's nothing left to undo. Okay, so that's how you can yank after using visual mode. I can also use it to cut. So once I highlight that, I press X to cut, and now I can paste it anywhere I want. Okay, you can also do delete, right? So if I press V to enter visual mode and highlight that bit of text, I can press D to delete. Okay, so that's how you can cut, copy, and delete using the visual mode. There's also another way to repeatedly paste text. When you have something copied or cut, you can paste over other highlighted piece of text, but it's a tricky feature that I should really explain. So let's say I enter visual mode and I copy this line. So I'm gonna go over here, press yank, and I'm gonna come down to this line, this ID line, and I want to replace it with the from line, right? So if I press P, it's just gonna paste whatever I have in my clipboard or in my buffer or in my memory. And there we go, I press P, and this is exactly as we expected. This line here is the same as this line here, because this is what I explicitly yanked. Okay. Now let's say, like the tricky part is when I move to this third line here, and let's say I highlight it, and I want to press paste again, and my expectation, or intuitively, I would have expected that this line is what's going to be pasted over here, because this line is what I explicitly yanked. So that's my expectation, but that's not what's actually going to happen. So if I press P, what you'll see is that the ID line is what gets pasted, because previously the ID line was up here, but the act of pasting over a highlighted piece of text automatically yanks the overwritten text into the clipboard or into the buffer, so that the next time you paste, it's your most recent overwrote text that is actually used as the item to paste. right? So just to prove the point or really clarify that point, if I were to highlight this line, and if I were to press paste, it's not going to be the from that appears here. It's also not going to be the ID that appears here. What's going to appear here is the bundle line, because a few seconds ago, I pasted over the bundle line, and now the bundle line is actually going to be what's shown up here, like that. Okay, and likewise, if I go to the next line and I press paste, it's the integrity line, because in bundle overwrote integrity, so integrity got thrown into my buffer, and so the next time I paste it, that's what happens here. So this is, to me, in my opinion, it's not a very intuitive way of pasting text, but there is a way around that. So let me undo some of these changes. So I'm back to where we started over here. And what you can do is, if I use visual mode to highlight this, I'm going to yank it into memory. I'm going to highlight this bit of text. And instead of pressing P to paste, I'm going to press double quotation mark. So that's the shift and that quotation mark. 0 and shift P or capital P. And that will paste one of, let's say, the 0th slot from the buffer or the clipboard into this piece of text over here. And I can repeat that again here. If I highlight this, I'm not going to press P for paste, which is what I normally do. I'm going to do double quotation, 0, and capital P to paste what I explicitly yanked into the buffer. So again, I'm going to go to this line here, visual mode, highlight, quotation, double quotation mark, 0, capital P. Okay, highlight this, double quotation, 0, capital P. Okay, so that's how you can paste from the clipboard something that you explicitly yanked. Two other useful commands are bulk yank and bulk delete. So let's say I'm in command mode, and let's say I want to yank these 5 lines. So I can go 5, Y, Y. And you can see 5 lines have been yanked. And now I can actually paste it here. Okay, and I can also do 8, Y, Y, and move my cursor up here and paste 8 lines. Okay, likewise, if I want to delete, let's say these 15 lines, I can go 15, D, D. All right, DD for delete. Okay, 3, DD will delete those 3 lines. So that's how you can do bulk yank and bulk deletes. Let's talk about navigation next. So if you want to go to a specific line, you can enter the command, colon, and the line number you want to go to. All right, I pressed 9, so colon 9 will take me to line 9. If I did colon 45, I'll go to line 45. Colon 0 takes me back to the top of the file. And colon $sign takes me to the end. I suppose $sign is inspired by regular expression, because in regular expression, $sign also means end of a line or end of a file. So let's go back to the top. Now let's move to this line here. If I'm on the current line, I can actually press $sign to go to the end of that line, or press 0 to go to the beginning of that line. Even if I were in the middle here, I press 0, I'd be in the at the beginning, or press $sign to go to the end. Okay. Another way to use useful way to navigate on the same line is to press the letter W to move forward one word. Okay, W, 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 W. Okay, and I can press B to go back one word. B, 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 B. Okay, so that's how you can move between the along the current line. You can also press Control F to go forward one page, which is, I suppose, the equivalent of page down. Right, so Control F, page down. Control B is page up or backwards. Right, Control F, forward, Control B, backwards. Another useful way of navigating is the percentage sign. So if you're, let's say, at this, let's move over here. Let's say I'm on this bracket here. If I press the percentage sign, I actually go to the closing bracket. If I'm on the closing bracket and I press percentage sign, I jump back to the beginning bracket. So this is very useful for very large functions or large objects, and you want to know where that closing bracket or opening bracket is. Okay, so I'm jumping between these two square brackets with the percentage sign. Now you can combine all this navigation with the visual mode, right? So if I were, let's say $sign, I'm here, press V, visual mode, percentage sign to highlight this block, press the arrow key, and maybe from here I just press Control F to go down the whole document. So, and just like that, I've selected quite a bit of text. Right? I can press B and I can press W to move forward or back one word with the visual mode on. And at any time I can press Y to yank or X to cut or D to delete. Okay, so I'll just press escape for now. Moving on, let's learn how to search for text. So when you're in command mode, press / and then you can type in a regular expression for the phrase that you want to search for. And if you press enter, you'll see that this was the first item that was found. If you press the letter N, it'll move on to the next found instance. Press N, the next instance, N, the next instance. If you use capital N, it'll go backwards. Little n, you move forwards. Now you can also do search and replace. To do search and replace, enter the command mode, type colon. Now 0 to say I want to start at the beginning of the document and I want to go all the way to line 45. And actually, let's say I want to go all the way to the end of the file. Search for / this regular expression and replace it with this, right? G meaning I want to just apply it globally, and C meaning I want it to confirm each individual replacement. So if I press enter, do I want to replace this? I'll press yes to that one, N for no for that one, Y for yes for that one, N for no for that one. Or I can now just press A for everything, for all, and everything will be replaced. I can press U to undo all that stuff, or I can press escape, press colon, use the arrow keys to go through all my past commands as well. Okay, so let's find that replacement feature and let's do this again, everything. So that's how you can search and replace text. Okay, moving along, another useful command is the shell command. So I'm going to press colon, shell, and what this will do is it's going to minimize your VIM and let you go back to your operating system. And now you can actually just do anything you want in shell. Now, just so you're clear, we did not close the package.json, it's only minimized. So if I press exit, I'm actually going to come back to my document. Okay, so let's minimize this document so I can actually go do something else, and I can actually go open up another document, right, and do what I want. I can SSH to a completely different computer, and if I come back here, it will still be here for me. Another very useful command is the tab command. So if I press tab new / I'm gonna see the files in my current directory, and I can use my cursor to pick another file. So I'll pick index.js. And now you'll see that I have two tabs open, this tab and this tab. I can open up more files, tab new / and let's say I open up the README. Now I have 3 tabs open, and I can run all the same commands that I've done. I can copy this, yank, and to go to another tab, I press GT for go to another tab, and now I can actually paste what I yanked. So let's just paste it here. So that's how you can copy content between different documents. I can press GT again to go to the next tab, GT, GT, and I'll keep forwarding to the next tab. If I press G capital T, I move back a tab. G capital T, I move back a tab. I can also pick exactly which tab I want to go to by its tab number. So this is tab 3, tab 2, tab 1. If I want to go tab 3, I can type 3 GT, and now I'm on tab 3. 1 GT is the first tab. 2 GT is the second tab. And that's how I can move between tabs. So let me close this, close this. Another way to open up a tab is to actually just type tab new dot / and if you press the tab on your keyboard, you'll see that it'll cycle through other files that exist. And if you had actually typed in the letter I, it'll even do autocomplete. So that's a quick way of opening up a tab without having to go through the directory explorer. You can also go tab new and a completely new file. This is a new file. And if I wrote something in here, I'll go into insert mode. This is a new file. I can press :W to actually save that as a new file, because now if I hit go to shell and I do ls-alh, you can see that this is a new file is now over here. Okay, so I minimized my Vim just to come to the shell to see that this file exists. I can press this exit and I'll come back to my application. The final sets of commands that can be useful are the split commands, which lets you load another document into the same window so that you can look at 2 or more documents side by side. Let me actually go to the first tab because then it'll be very clear. What you can do is use the split command and a dot / and then the name of the file that you want to open. So let's say the license file. And now you can see that there's one pane up here and another pane down here. This is the license, this is the package.json. And when I move my cursor around, I'm only ever in the first pane. And if I want to jump to the next pane, I press Ctrl+WW, and now I'm on this pane over here. And when I'm jumping between panes, I can actually still use the visual mode. And let's say I yank this text, Ctrl+WW, I'm back in this pane, and I press P to paste it over here. Okay, I can exit one of these panes by pressing Command:Q, and this will close the active pane that I'm on. So right now I have this pane selected, so I'm going to press :Q, enter. Well, it'll ask me to save. Sure. Actually, you know what? I'll undo those changes, and then I will quit. There we go. We close that pane. vsplit command works similarly, except it's going to be a vertical split. I can open up the file, or I'll just open up the file explorer and then pick the file I want to open. So let's say over here. And there we go. Now we have 2 panes side by side. Press Ctrl+WW to go over here and then copy this text, yank, move back to the other pane, Ctrl+WW, and paste it in here. Okay, so that's how you can jump between, or you can open up 2 documents or more documents. You can open up another one, and now you have 3 panes open. Okay, if you press Go to, you can still jump between the tabs that you have opened. Yeah, so very useful way of jumping between documents. The final thing you should know about Vim are the personalization settings. So in your home directory, you may have a .vimrc file. If you don't, it just means you don't have any personalization, so you can actually start a new one. But I'll open one up because I already made one. And in it are just some of the settings that make my Vim easier to use. For example, I just set backspaces to 2, and I have syntax highlighting on, auto indent. I like to use this color theme, desert, which I think a friend just told me about. I have tab stop configurations to 2 spots, shift width is 2 spots, and other things. You can look on the internet for a lot more different declarations. You can enable line numbers, certain types of autocompletes, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do with VimRC. I like to keep mine minimal. And so that's basically all the commands I've typically used in the last 15 or so years. I haven't really done much more than that. I've explored some other functions or plugins or different things that collapses really long functions and such, but I never really found it too useful, so it never really stuck with me. So everything I've shown in this video is basically all I've done in the last 15 years. So hopefully you guys find this useful when you're using Vim as well.